Hello everybody. Basically, this video is going to be me going to try to eat a little bit of a, chicken strip, which I actually did before, but actually I wasn't recording it, so I have to do it again for anxiety, which kind of sucks because anxiety sucks. Basically, what I'm doing is slowly facing my anxiety. I have an anxiety which is known as choking phobia, which is distinct from swallowing phobia, where basically you feel that in swallowing phobia you fear the act of swallowing, in choking phobia you fear the act of choking on food, right? Swallowing is just like what you do. I feel that I have more of a choking phobia. It depends. There's a bit of an overlap, but there is a distinction. I feel I have more of a choking phobia rather than like swallowing phobia. They fear the act of swallowing. The act of literally, swallowing. Choking phobia is you fear the act of choking on food, as I said. So basically, exposure and response prevention is slowly facing your fears. So you write, time, date, your anxiety level out of 1 to 100, known as the SUD scale, subjective units of distress scale. It's very important to remember that because it's a subjective unit, right? The fear is irrational, it's overblown, it's not necessarily real, not necessarily accurate, but it's there. People have anxiety, I have anxiety. But what you slowly do is work your way out with softer foods, eggs, muffins, cheese, chips, slowly. You'll notice once you do the exposure, when you sit down, formally do it, you will see the anxiety over a period of time. The number that you began with, then you do the exposure, and then the number that it goes, you find at the end, will be lower. The only exception is if you do too much, like you just don't do it gradually. You say I'm gonna eat a steak, and if we're talking about choking phobia, it'd be a big phobia. So I'm gonna try to do it again for you guys because the first time the recording screwed up. So basically, my anxiety level right now is around, I'm gonna just, it went down because of the exposure already, but it was high, so I'm going to just say for this video, it was around 70, 75, 79. I do still feel a little bit of anxiety. So now I'm going to take a bite of this chicken, right? And again, the thought is, I will choke on the chicken and whatnot. And then I'll ask myself, what do I feel with anxiety afterwards? Okay. I feel my anxiety did go down a little bit. It's basically, when you do this over and over and over again, it will go down. I know it sounds scary. I've done it many times. My problem is I lack focus. I don't always do it. There'll be times where I would be doing it, and there'll be times where I'd be like, no, I'd pick an easier food, or it's a subtle, sort of what's known as response, which you're supposed to prevent. A subtle response to your choking phobia, which is, oh, I won't do it today. I'll have some soft foods, just whatever. It's too hard, right? But if you do that, your anxiety will, your brain will begin to fall back into its old patterns of negative thinking, and you'll find your anxiety level will go high again. The best way is to journal it and just write in your phone, date, time, anxiety level before you try the exposure, right? And then you eat, and the anxiety level after you start the after you finish your exposure. You will find the anxiety will go down. I don't know why I got up and sat here after I ate. I just had this urge to. I was making the video on my bed, and now I'm sitting on my table. There's just a chair here. So basically, that even might be related to the fact why I ate. I don't know. right? But basically, if you can slowly work on your choking phobia, and this works for any anxiety disorder, by the way. This is considered the gold standard of treatment, exposure and response prevention. Like, I have social anxiety, so in a way, what I have to do is be in social situations, right? Kind of maybe take a mental note, or just pick up your phone and be like, all right, I'm here, date, time, 1 out of 100, anxiety level, and just go in there. Hi, how you doing? What's up? What are you guys up to? And walk into a store, I don't know, just something anxiety provoking. Group of people, or whatever anxiety you have, agoraphobia, and just try to be outside, right? What else? Anxiety, depression, right? Basically, with depression, you have to set goals slowly, and then work on them. And basically, it's about recording your anxiety level and watching it come down. And I'm doing this in real time for you guys because I really believe in it. I've met a lot of good people who've taught me about these things. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about psychology, except what I've heard. Basically, I probably have the same information as you do. I took a little more interest because I felt personally affected by it, right? I have anxiety and I want to get better, so I need to take it seriously. If you don't take it seriously, guys, if you don't take your anxiety seriously, you'll start to self-medicate, you'll start to ignore, you'll start to avoid, you'll feel restless, you'll feel trouble sleeping, you have all the anxiety symptoms, and you won't know what to do. I'm telling you what you need to do. This is not like a scam. I'm not asking for money. This is just simple cognitive behavioral therapy where you restructure your brain. People with anxiety, they have their amygdala, or at least like the amygdala is the part of the brain that controls fear. People with anxiety have an overactive amygdala. They fear a lot more than people who don't have anxiety. And their cerebral cortex, which controls logic and reason, it isn't used as efficiently, and in a way we need to restructure it by using ERP. That's how you do it, by doing ERP, by facing your fears slowly, recording them and taking the time to, for me, this really helps making a video so I can kind of like even talk to myself, but it helps documenting it and seeing the anxiety before and after, and obviously the hardest part, going through the anxiety, right, and watching it come down. For me, when I first did it, it kind of felt like magic, because it was like, how is this possible? But once you learn more and more about exposure and response prevention and CBT and choking, swallowing, phobias, and all these different things, depression, anxiety, social anxiety, agoraphobia, and whatnot, you'll realize that a lot of people have gotten out of them through exposure and response prevention therapy. I've seen enough, this is on TV, you see there's like a A&E special called Obsessed, where people are obsessed at OCD, and these guys basically slowly told them to stop doing what they wanted to do, like washing their hands or working out or whatever, saying, one woman actually had a weird one where she said all the time when her mom said the K sound. And basically, when you stop doing that, you'll realize you don't need to, and then you'll feel less anxious. But keep up the good work, guys. And so I'm gonna go back and try to finish this chicken strip, because I know I have to, because it's part of my exposure. So it's not a big chicken strip. Okay, it's really, let me get it here for you guys. It's really small. And again, the thought I have is I'm gonna choke, I'm gonna die, somehow this will lodge in my esophagus. I'll have to perform the Heimlich. And it goes back to a lot of traumas I've had, which I would discuss. And I have no problem discussing. If I can just, I'm gonna eat this first, and then I will see how far I make into this video. Right, I took it slow. I, have some Coke, which I love. And I, slowly, focus on my anxiety. When you look at that, I had 2 chicken strips here on this plate. I ate both of them. You may think, oh, it's a routine thing. People, not you, but people who don't have anxiety, which you realize is a big accomplishment for someone who fears choking on food. So I wish you guys the best. I'm gonna try to make another video, maybe on my backstory, exactly why I feel anxiety or why I have anxiety. I don't know how popular this will become. I'm really just doing it for me, to be honest. But I know other people have anxiety, so why not explain what I'm doing, right, for me? The ERP, CBT, slowly facing your fears. So anxiety went down, and I wish you guys the best, and I'm gonna just end it here. Bye.